not the man with the bowler hat. I'm the man in the cowboy hat. And then other times I'm the man in the tan jacket. And then other times I'm the man in the yellow hat, and I have to fight everybody to save Curious George. Anyway, because that's how that book went.
I have to wait. So I mean, it's been a while since I've read Curious George. So forgive me if I'm misremembering this correctly, but according to you, the what happens in the books is that Curious George gets into trouble, and then the man in the yellow hat goes around beating up random strangers who get in his way so he can protect the monkey.
I kind of like the idea that he would just arbitrarily fight people no matter what the problem is. Like, oh, Curious George ate a puzzle piece and got sick because he was a dumb ape. And what does he do to cure him? He goes out in the street and just starts picking fights with randoms.
Could you imagine if they made Curious George into an action film? And it's like this summer, the book that inspired your childhood is about to hit theaters in a new way. Who wants
Curious George?
The man in the yellow hat.
Oh my god! Now I'm thinking of the.
He's traded in his banana for a gun.
Now I'm just thinking of the trailer for it. The teaser trailer for it is literally just the man in the yellow hat coming in like the opening scene from what's that movie with the fucking amazing long shot fight choreography bit?
Oh god,
Ong Bak. So he comes in like the beginning of Ong Bak and just fights his way through everything. But at the end, instead of going, "Where's my elephant?" he goes, "Where's my George?"
Welcome to under George analysis.
Under
George analysis.
Well, I mean, look,
I didn't realize we switched the programming to OnlyFans, but okay, I'm into it.
Well, look, we've already established how we've got at least one part of the cult of George Kennedy here. So
yeah.
Oh fuck yeah!
Isn't that? See, I've called it back.
Yeah,
can't say we don't do that around here.
Did we talk about the cult of George Kennedy on this show? Like, are people aware?
I think I believe Alan has brought it up at some point.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a recurring theme, Rose Loki. It's you, Alan, Neruli, and Brian.
Yeah,
you're all the cult of George Kennedy,
and you all have George Kennedy's T-shirts, and it's wild.
We have matching George Kennedy, beautifully hand drawn picture of George Kennedy's just voluptuous, beautiful face.
Voluptuous. I don't think I've ever heard a face described as voluptuous before. That's something else.
It's supple. It's well shaped. I just want to kiss it.
Well, as we established, unfortunately, this is not a thing we can do anymore. But
yeah,
tragedy,
because he's
the real
dead.
tragedy. Yeah.
Speaking of Dead on Arrival, what are we reading?
Well,
shit.
That's a good question.
I probably should introduce ourselves.
I mean, most people who listen to this know who we are, but just for the occasional odd man or woman or person out joining us, hello, I'm David King. I am the host and creator and lord and master of Undercooked Analysis, a podcast which takes literary treatments that are sent to us and short stories and things like that, and puts them to completely off the top of the dome scrutiny and mostly tells dumb jokes and creates cults to George Kennedy on accident. And with me over here is my co-host, Kaela.
Hello.
And we also have Benjamin.
You mean Curious George?
We have Curious George Kennedy Benjamin Spiegel.
Codename Curious George.
Codename Curious George.
Codename Curious George is pretty good, actually. That's the title of this movie now.
Oh my god. Codename Curious George is like just the worst spy flick ever made.
I'm honestly,
this time he's not monkeying around.
I love you.
So I was like, I need a good tagline for this, but I couldn't think of any until now.
This summer, the man in the yellow hat goes ape.
Someone threw a monkey wrench into his plans.
It's
Mine was like just like such a big stretch, but it brought me a smile. So
no, it's wonderful.
Now he's going deep in the jungle.
He'll be giving his foes something to think about. This is terrible.
He's gonna be throwing his shit at people. There's no pun there. It's just funny to think about him.
Sorry.
Just a monkey throwing poo at people.
Oh, my voice just.
This is like, you know what? Now this is like I now. Oh my god! The other thing, this could be like John Wick.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Curious, Curious George died because he ate a puzzle piece.
Someone fed him a puzzle piece.
I was thinking it was the reverse, where the man in the yellow hat like gets cancer or whatever, or he gets killed by the people, and then Curious George goes out on his revenge quest.
I like that version. It's like that parody video that's out there. It's like John Wick, but if John Wick died and the dog vowed revenge.
Yeah,
that's the best version of it.
It's Curious George, codename Curious George.
Yeah.
It's just this like digital monkey going around beating the shit out of people.
And like you just like get little subtitles where he's like, yeah, I think I'm back.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, Curious George gets dubbed over by Keanu Reeves.
Oh my fucking god.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I've decided we're not going to read a story anymore. We're just going to keep pitching this idea.
We're going to write Curious George, John Wick.
I am so sorry, Daniel.
Mm.
I am so anyway. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
As you can tell, we are just experts in our fields, and we can turn anything. We can turn a piece of shit into gold. So you should take everything we say extremely seriously.
Yes, exactly. That's how you know we do a good podcast here. In fact, this is why people are confident in sending us their stories and writing. In this case, we're actually getting something that has been previously published, but has been presented to us with permission.
Oh,
yes.
Like published online, or is this like we got a little novella that we that's been published?
It's a little short story. Actually, it's actually fairly short. It's I think about 1,000 words. And this was sent to us by among a few other stories by Urkelbot666, aka Daniel Scamell. Hey, Daniel.
Hi, he's a frequent listener of our other podcast, Darkly Lit. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that little plug in there.
He's a champion and sends us a lot of good feedback, and is one of the people who just poses questions, and even did a recording for us one time.
Yeah.
But this is a story that, according to him, he previously submitted to a short story competition, 7th place magazine. All he said was story about life and meat. Now, the magazine is called the Molotov Cocktail Literary Magazine, and I figure it's very important we give credit to the magazine since we are reading from it, and it looks like it's got a lot of fun flash fiction and stuff like that. So we're going to be reading a flash fiction piece called Herd.
You heard?
Yeah, Herd.
With Purd?
I can't remember which Animal Crossing character has it as their catchphrase, but yeah, Herd.
You heard? Oh yeah. They all have like their own like little like idiosyncrasies, or is idioms aren't something where like you have like a recurring phrase, right? Like that's just like kind of your persona or something.
I think my brain. I kind of mentioned this in the dregs, but part of the reason I apologize, by the way, for this episode coming out kind of late than normal, but I am fried. And not because I've had like 4 straight days of a certain specific kind of work I do at the theme park, where it just took a lot out of me.
It is exhausting.
It's very exhausting, but I get
a lot out of him because he's just tired of giving blowjobs behind.
Yes, Benjamin. Yes, I'm so tired of giving.
Boy, is my mouth tired.
I get yes, because I apparently get paid to do this by a large corporate theme park chain.
That would be incredible.
Well, I mean, you'd be really good at that.
Your job too. Doesn't a large corporation also pay you to suck dick?
Yeah. It's called grade A work where I come from, and where I come from is the place where I suck dick of famous cartoon characters.
Hey, speaking of famous cartoon characters, how about Bob Chapek leaving the company?
Oh
Whoa!
my god.
It's pretty wild.
Yep. You looks like you get old Bobby Iger back.
But yeah, but Bobby Iger, he's subbing in. Bobby Iger stepping up to the plate. He's gonna come in. We threw him a couple fastballs, but he's letting the first two pitches go by. And when the third one comes, who knows where it's gonna go? Is it gonna go out of the park? Is it someone gonna catch it? I don't know.
He's just literally just gonna do a pop fly and then run away. Wait a minute. What's that? Look. Oh, it's Bob Iger with a metal chair.
Oh no! And unexpectedly, Michael Eisner has come in.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, weirdest tag team.
I kind of want to.
I don't know how to feel.
So what is that WWE game or whatever?
Oh, the one the two, like it's the most recent, like 2K22.
Something like
You just
that.
make your own wrestlers.
Yeah, someone do that with.
There's a lot that do that, but that would be really funny.
That'd be
Yeah,
wild.
just all the like different like CEOs and presidents of Disney. Also,
Yeah, all of them that have existed at various
What
points.
if-
So
what
you
if
can
this-
get.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say, you'll have like you can have like Jeffrey Katzenberg versus Michael Eisner versus Roy E. Disney versus oh god. Yeah. Well, anyway, we should read Dan's story, honestly.
Well, real quick, I just want to say one other thing is that I just think it'd be funny if like, what if they just kept like subbing in like former former CEOs, where it's just like, and fucking Bob Iger is like, and now I appoint my follow up to be Michael Eisner, and then like Michael Eisner like submits the like the previous person until it gets all the way back to like Walt Disney's corpse.
Oh my god, it's the head of Walt Disney.
They're gonna-
That's
They're gonna thaw him out.
This is how I will reveal myself.
Yeah, I like how he talks like he talks.
I mean, he was a chain smoker.
He was, yeah. His like, I read a biography on Walt Disney. His fingers were calcified from how much he smoked.
Were they?
Oh.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
He smoked. He smoked like a fucking chimney. I know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had to have one.
Well, that's
Jeez.
why he loved chimney sweeps so much. He did.
I bet he wishes they could have swept him out.
That was the
Swept
one.
him out and-
That was the one unrealistic. I mean, there's a bunch of unrealistic parts in Saving Mr. Banks, but
Oh, I thought you were talking about Mary Poppins, and I'm like, that's the understatement of the century.
yeah, sorry. In Saving Mr. Banks, where he says, "Sorry, I don't like people smoking." I'm like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Walter.
Walter. Shut the fuck up. But they're like, do you know how? You know, there's like those pictures where you see Walt pointing at shit, and they are clearly erased the cigarette out of his hands.
It's
Yeah.
it's called the Disney point. They make everyone who works in the park point with two fingers.
I love
Oh, no,
that idea.
I know. I was forced to do that when I worked at
Oh
Disney
shit!
World.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to try and explain something to you that you already knew.
Not only, actually, this is what they told us. They said you can point with two fingers or you can point with your whole hand. Don't do one, because they said the reason for it is because one finger may offend people. It might be offensive in certain countries, so that's why we do two. And I'm like, okay. Or you could do four fingers as well.
I do like the idea, though, that the reason you point with two fingers is not because it's polite, but because you have to emulate the way Walt pointed with a cigarette between his
that's not
fingers.
what they told us. They told us.
No, but I'm just.
They told us it was due to politeness. We don't want to offend anyone, because apparently pointing with one finger could be seen as extremely offensive in some countries.
Right. No, I'm just saying, hypothetically, wouldn't it be funny if the real reason was because
actually the real reason, let's be honest here, is
we have to point like Walt because Walt had a cigarette and you should all have cigarettes. This is actually big tobacco. Propaganda.
Honestly, yeah, let's bring back smoking as a regular thing that people do on airplanes and in front of babies.
Hell no.
Let's get back smoking so much your fingers calcify.
God, I have developed a cigarette allergy over the years. Like anytime I'm around cigarette smoking, I'm like suddenly coughing and my nose gets stuffed up and I'm starting to hurt. I'm like, this sucks. Oh God, this sucks. So please, no, stop smoking. Don't people stop smoking. I can't handle it anymore. I want to go to.
If not for your sake, for Kayla's sake.
Yeah, do it for me. Fuck your health. Do it for me.
I got like a sympathy cough just from hearing that.
Yeah, I noticed you were like you're kind of like just off in the distance, like and several lungs came out.
Which is funny. It's really just cigarette smoke. I'm fine. Like weed smoke is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So is and surprisingly, cigars hasn't been an issue for me.
Really?
It's cigarettes is usually the one that
it's only cigarettes. Like even like asbestos and like house fires, like you're completely fine.
Oh no, I also have a dust allergy and all that, but that's here. Okay, anyway, story. Yeah.
Story time.
This is what happens when we get Benjamin on this.
Yeah, but also it's fair because again, this is a pretty short story. We'll see how much we can. And again, this has already been published. It got according to Dan, got 7th place in this contest.
Congratulations!
Little writing challenge. So here we are on the Molotov
The Molotov cocktail.
The Molotov cocktail.
Yes. Good job.
The cocktail. Anyway, this is Heard, and I will start.
Okay.
Because I can. The rippling heaps of flesh are halfway across the parking lot when I get to work. The news said we had 3 weeks before the meat sprawl reached this part of the city. They said the spillways and razor netting would divert it against it again this year, but here it is, lashed onto the blacktop and gnawing at the landscape outside the restaurant. I park across the lot and hope the cleanup crew are here soon to scrape away the writhing mounds of meat, bone, teeth, and hair before I have to move my cousin's neon across the street. My ride got repoed.
Oh, interesting. This is a present tense. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and we are immediately in a weird scenario.
Yeah.
This is great.
You're telling me this doesn't happen to you every day? I gotta wait for the meat truck to move the piles of meat out of the street.
Look, I know Burbank is a far cry from the rest of everything, but
it's a nightmare hellhole. It's like living in a freaking Kafka novel.
God damn.
You're really Cronenberg this one up.
Could you imagine if that's basically the premise of Metamorphosis, is that it's the beginning of an apocalypse? It's just this is the first person to actually become a vermin, and then it just
slowly everybody's becoming vermin.
Yeah. Gregor Samsa is the first person, is patient 0.
Damn.
This disturbs me.
Yeah, already this is pretty. Oh man,
I'm curious. Like, why is there a meat sprawl? Why is this happening?
We'll see if we find out.
Okay. Robin Jose called out. Jenna, the hostess, tells me as I clock in, I can have the girls help when there's time, but we've got tons of reservations. Another day in paradise.
Love it. Heard, I say, walking back to the kitchen. I wish I could call out too. Rent, child support, fucking gabapentin script.
What the hell is a gabapentin script? Now I gotta look this up.
Yeah, I know. We gotta do research.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just because I only had one sentence. I'm gonna read this next one. It says,
"Oh, it's a drug for anxiety, or it can also treat seizures and pain caused by shingles."
Oh, not. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Benjamin.
Why is it gabapentin script?
Like a script, like your I think it's in like another word for prescription.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Like prescription slang.
Yeah.
So
also,
clearly, go ahead.
No. Fuck
no.
you. Fuck
you.
Fuck
Did you read the bit?
No, I haven't read. All right, so this is the next line says, "I need this job."
Sounds like it. I already like the voice.
Yeah.
I think this is good. This could be fun. There's already a mountain of dishes in the wash station. I start loading a rack of plates when Chef shouts from me from the line, Carlos, floor drain's backed up in the ladies' room. Gonna need you to shop vac it.
Mhm.
Heard, I call. With one rack loaded, I trudge to the prep room closet and get the vacuum. Patrons stare as I log the machine to the restroom. There's cloudy water pooled on the bathroom floor and more bubbling up from the drain. Ugh. I suck up the shitty water and my shirt pulled up over my nose, then carry the vac to the parking lot and dump it. The greasy, jittering sprawl covers half the parking spaces now. I move the the car, across the street and sit in the driver's seat, thinking I should go home. Would Clara get another warrant if I missed my payment? Maybe I can get sample packs from the doctor, filing my script. Fuck, I need this job.
I love how like casual this is when there's some sort of eldritch horror slowly creeping across the expanse of the blacktop. Like this is fun. That's fun.
And it's like
that's fun.
That's fun. I mean, I've been here where like it's like God, I don't want to be at this job. Can I get away with leaving? No. How would this affect my life?
I've definitely been in the same scenario too, like working like, you know, like a 9 to 5 at some restaurant, and some like eldritch abomination like walks in like 5 minutes before you close. It's like I'm like, fuck, I just wanted to go home.
I mean, I get stopped by eldritch abominations all the time. I don't understand why.
You married one.
Yeah, I know. I married an eldritch abomination.
Oh yeah. Where's the state crew? I asked Jenna as I re-enter the restaurant. They said 3:00. Heard.
Lunch is slammed. People want to go get home before the crew closes rows to pry up the meat and cart it away in dump trucks. I wish Chef would just close up.
This character has only said heard to other people. So, wait, he says other stuff later on.
Okay. Yeah, so this is Carlos, I guess.
Yes,
this is our main character.
Yeah, well, he also said, "Where's the state crew?" That's a.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that being like a phrase. I haven't known to say that saying the word heard during like while working, but yeah. I could see it being like a phrase like, okay, got it.
It's an interesting expression if there's just someone just being like, yeah, heard, like, you know, I get you.
It's like the
I have spoken.
I have
heard.
I would love it if now this character was played by the Ugnaught guy
by freaking Nick Nolte.
Yeah, I don't remember that character's name, but he was cool.
Yeah, great character.
Yeah, I have spoken.
I have spoken.
I think it's you because there's a page break here.
Oh yeah, there's still no.
Well, so I read the. Oh wait, did you read the lunch is slammed part?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did? Oh yeah, I wish Chef would. Okay.
Oh right. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
It's okay. Do you know? We're like I lose track all the fucking time. Yeah. There's still no crew when I take my smoke break at 5:45. Same for 7:30, and the flash is coming up the side of the building now. Oh. The stucco is going to need resurfacing. Before heading back inside with the toe of my soggy boot, I nudge a lump of meat that's suckling on the curb. Oh my fucking God. A boil on the skin ruptures and yellow shit oozes out. I flick my butt on the ground and watch as an oily pink nub slowly arches out to devour it. Ew! Oh, this is uncomfortable.
I want that last sentence tattooed on my arm.
I
flick my butt on the ground.
And watch as an oily pink nub slowly arches out to devour.
Yeah, holy shit.
That actually,
out of context, Benjamin wants to get his butt
devoured by an oily pink nub.
Oh
my God.
The dishes have been backed up all day. I just washed what they tell me. See, we need pint glasses. Carlos ramekins. Out of silverware, see? I run racks and vacuum more shit in the bathroom feeling like a robot. But robots don't get their wages garnished.
Oh my God. At 9:30, the bar crowd starts showing up. And Jenna has me and Tyrone, the line cook, scraping the front sidewalks with rusty snow shovels. She says the crew is on its way. Ew, damn.
So, they're treating this like a snowstorm.
Yeah, this is great.
But
damn.
Tyrone heaves a shovel full of bloody chunks into the front lot, then drops his shovel. Man, this is fucking stupid. I'm out. Let's bail.
I just want to say for the record that where is it? Shovel full of bloody chunks is going on my list of band names.
I used to play bass for shovel full of bloody chunks.
Okay. Shovel full of bloody chunks, blah blah blah. Nah, I say, I need this job. My uncle's got a painting crew. He'd take you on. This place is a shithole. He got medical. Nope, off the books, tax free. He smiles. Sorry.
He looks at the pulsing waves of flesh halfway to the roof. Fuck this. He walks off. Later.
I finish clearing the entryway, grab a smoke, and head back into the kitchen. Pots have sat all day and they need scrubbing. My shirt is stuck to me with sweat and steam from the dishwater. I'm getting a rash again. Ugh.
This whole thing is gross, man.
Like,
I could imagine Cronenberg directing a version of this.
Yeah,
could you imagine like a day, just like I almost want it to be like not Cronenberg. This feels like who's someone who could do like regular everyday life and make this feel as uncomfortable as possible, but treat it like it's nothing. Honestly, I want this to be like a longer story that we're more so. I mean, it's probably great as a short story. It's so far, it's very fascinating, and I'm totally interested.
I get it as flash fiction though. Like,
yeah.
This is cool. I actually like the little bits we're getting just because like he can't. I'm sure Carlos would love to take this other job, but he needs his medication.
Yeah.
So he can't.
I need my drugs.
And his kid. He has
a kid. He has to pay child support. Like this. Pay his rent. Like,
all right,
this,
but
this
how
sucks.
much do you want to bet that like none of this is real? It's just all a big hallucination. He's like been taking like placebos, and
I hope
I
not.
see the devil.
I hope not.
The man in the yellow hat.
I will say there does feel like there's like a world here, and like we're like getting little hints to it, but I'm curious, and it seems like there's texture to it, so it feels real.
Yeah.
Certainly texture. Texture is a word I would use for this too.
Yeah, just like lumpy, odorous, meaty texture.
Oh my god. Oh, this is.
I feel. I'm trying to think of a good example of like people dealing with day-to-day shit, but weird shit is happening around them, and they just kind of go after a certain point.
I mean. There's to a certain extent there's like kind of that in like David Lynch stuff, but I feel like that's like kind of like a lot of his stuff goes off of like dream logic where weird shit happens and people just take it as it is.
Yeah. I'm thinking more like, oh, this is just a day-to-day thing.
This is the world where this has been happening long enough that people don't give a shit.
Well, like, I mean, he still goes to work, he's still living his life, but there's this horrifying thing that's happening. And unfortunately, he can't be horrified by it. He treats it like, well, it's just something that makes our life a little more difficult.
Well, no one is horrified by this, though.
No, they're not.
That's the thing. That's what I think is interesting. It's the banality of this. Like for us, what is horrific, but for these people, it's just like, ugh.
The closest I can think to this is Less Than Zero, the novel. By who directed American or not directed, who wrote Bret Easton Ellis.
Oh yeah.
But that whole idea behind Less Than Zero is that it takes place in the 80s and these like 20-something-year-old kids are doing the most ridiculous, horrifying, terrible shit, and but the writing is so banal, they treat it like, oh, it's nothing. And it's supposed to be like shock value to the reader who's reading it because it came out in the 80s. It's like reading it at the time of the 80s. Like, how could they be doing all these horrible things and they're acting like it's not a big deal? I don't understand. But I say that, but like Bret Easton Ellis actually wrote it really well. I'm making it sound like shit, but it's not. That's different. That's more of the shock value of people doing drugs and treating it like it's nothing, where this is more like, here's a horrifying, weird fucking eldritch abomination, gross ass thing that's happening, but we're treating it like it's banal. And I'm trying to think of I can't think of an example of this. I feel like this should be a typical trope, but I can't think of any.
We've definitely covered stuff that kind of has this vibe of like where something weird or horrifying is given a blasé treatment because it's just part of everyday life. I mean, hell, with dead baggers, that's kind of the theme.
Yeah.
That I want to go for with that. And obviously, when Slime Beast wrote It's Always a Zombie, that's kind of the idea in the background of that story too.
Mm-hmm.
That no one cares about zombies, and therefore no one cares about zombie hunters either. It's just work.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Where were we? Oh yeah, I read. So.
Oh, I read the last part with the "fuck this," he walks off. Did you read the?
No, I finished clearing the.
Oh.
I'm getting a rash again.
Oh yeah, sorry. So that's Benjamin then.
Okay.
Around midnight.
Okay. Around midnight. Chef has to turn the exhaust fans off. They're grinding. They're grinding and clogged with meat.
Ew.
Hell yeah. He keeps the fryer going for the bar crew though. The air is heavy with heat and grease fumes. Nice work today, C, Chef says. Also, is this Chef from South Park?
Oh, it could be.
Suck on my salty balls.
Thanks. You good to close up here? Want to see my wife tonight if I can. No problem, I say. Good deal. Grab yourself a beer if you want. Heard. See you tomorrow. He chuckles, adding, if the fucking building is still here.
Jesus.
Tina, the bartender, squeals in disgust as I force open the door so she can leave at 2. She squeezes through the gap in the decaled? Decaled. Okay, thank you. Decaled plate glass, her feet gushing into the soggy flesh, coating the ground outside. Come on,
how's that for a Trilby right there for you? Imagine that, you fucking people.
If you want to know what Benjamin means by Trilby, go listen to the Dregs.
Oh yeah, I guess that all right. Well, yeah.
Sneak preview.
It out.
Come on, see, it's bad out there. This place is fucked.
Good line.
Game over, man. Game over. Be out in a few, I say. Just have to button up here. She frowns. If you say so. Leave soon, though. Like, real soon.
After shutting off the front lights, I head back to the kitchen. With no hood fans, there's grease everywhere. I pull up the mats and hose down the red floor tiles. After a minute, the flow slows down. Probably meat in the lines. I scrub and squeegee the floor as best I can, but the drains are backed up. I get the shot vac out and suck up the puddle. The vac still smells like shit. I'll bleach it tomorrow.
Oh, it's Benjamin's turn.
No, that was you. Don't you read after David?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You read that at the beginning. That's right. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's almost 3 when I try to take the garbage out. None of the doors will budge. Even the front is jammed with wriggling, oozing flesh. I can only see out the top corner of the glass. Looks like the cleanup crew never showed. I ache inside.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I should have stopped. Sorry.
No. I don't have a problem with you continuing reading. I was just saying, like, the crew never showed up. I was thinking, yeah, because they probably have been gobbled up by this fucking meat.
Yep.
Sorry, but did you want to read that sentence?
No. My brain just went on like mode.
Yeah. No worries at all. I ache inside. I should go home, I guess. Lie in bed, doze for a few hours. Come back here. Meat's got the building though. I decided to pour myself that beer Chef told me that I could have. I punch out first though. You get fired for drinking on the clock. I really need this job.
Damn.
Wow, this is like...
You get fired for drinking on the clock? I wouldn't be able to work without being just inebriated at all times.
Well, the funny part is like even the front is jammed with wriggling, oozing flesh. So he can't even... I don't think he can actually leave though.
He's doomed.
I think he's actually doomed. Like, and there is a sort of like he might die here.
Because he just didn't leave on time. This is crippling apathy. The story.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. I really like this.
I used to be in crippling apathy.
I
I used,
still am.
I used to play bass for crippling apathy.
I am crippling apathy.
Well, fuck. I guess this has been undercooked analysis with crippling apathy and Curious George.
Holy code name Curious George.
That's right. Codename Curious George.
And crippling apathy.
Yeah. So that was on the shorter side, but I think we had enough dialogue in there to kind of help buoy it. And all in all, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit.
It was a very uncomfortable story, but at the same time, it's a really good one. And I think the best comparison is if I think the best comparison to this is if they were caught in a snowstorm.
Mm.
Oh, interesting.
And I mean, similar things happen, like stuff freezing over. It becomes slush. You can, like, it's hard to leave.
Yeah. They're literally using snow shovels to try and clear it up. It keeps getting worse. It keeps piling more and more. But in this case, it's some weird amorphous living thing.
Yeah, gross, like meat chunk thing that's encapsulating the whole building. And
why is it always meat chunks?
Put that on your headstone, why don't you?
Yeah, but here lies
here lies David King. Why is it always the meat chunks?
Yeah, make sure remember that. Make sure it's on my epitaph, and then put on the top of the grave, put a statue of a turkey vulture, and we're all set.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah, no, I mean, I think the imagery was good. It was a well written story. I think like just as far as like if I were like to dig in and try and find something to like critique, I was just that I mean, I like that the meat blobs are like kind of like we don't ever get a full idea of what they are, but I don't know, I feel like I should have gotten like maybe like one or two more hints as to like what the origin of this thing is, or like what it is at all. But it does make it really fucking scary that it's never explained. So I mean, I can't say that's a strike against it. It just, I guess personally, I want to know more. So maybe that's a in the plus column of the story, making me care.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we're not quite sure is this, I think, well, I mean, in the beginning, based off the beginning, I just assumed this is an unusual thing to happen in this town. So, but then again, we don't know. I think a subtle way to do this is like have the radio on, maybe show. It's like I can hear the radio announcers kind of spewing stuff about the meat. This we don't know where it's come from. How did this happen? Careful, it's already taken New York or some shit like that to keep it. maybe just that little bit to give a little hint and to create that bit more of dread. But it still works.
Weirdly enough, though, I might have to stand. I think the complete lack of dread from anyone involved, like other than just, like you should leave, at the end and things like that, I think really drives the point home. It could be this is a slow moving eldritch apocalypse going on and no one gives a shit because they're so used to it. I think it's a great kind of almost analogy for like just the banality of existence in that essence too, like
True.
That's my takeaway from it.
Like I said, that whole thing is not necessary, but like it's one way if you want to create more, like give more of an explanation, more dread, but
more lore if you want. But
if I feel like, you're right, Daniel probably is going more for existential dread.
It's definitely got it's definitely like more of, and it works best I think in this essence for flash fiction, since it is supposed to be this short, and for what this little snapshot is, this little keyhole we're peering through, I think it's interesting. And I think what's interesting about it is, again, just the peer appearance into this life and realizing it's not just this guy who doesn't care, it's a lot of the people around him. Again, the fact that no one is reacting to the meat sprawl other than just having it be kind of a nuisance that people just kind of accept is there, and that no one comes around to deal with it. So, oh well.
Yeah. No, I guess I'm trapped inside of the meat apocalypse building. Guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die.
I like
This is put the dog from This Is Fine meme, but have it surrounded by meat.
All right, I guess you
I
found
mean,
your fucking clip art for this episode.
this is fine. And I mean, the dog even has a beer, so that's even more fitting for this
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
This is long.
Yep. Also, I want to say that there's a comic book that I've been reading. Shit, what's it called? There's let me just fill this dead air with
I could fill the dead air by going, hey, if you like what you hear on this episode, you can submit your stories for us to read on
I'm running out of air.
Undercooked Analysis. I'm trying to cover for you, Benjamin, with the plugs I do at the end of the episode.
It's called The Maniac of New York.
The Maniac of New York.
That's Benjamin's plug. Read the Maniac of New York.
Read the Maniac of New York. So it's a comic. This is not a random poll. I'm bringing this up for a reason. So I've been reading this comic book, The Maniac of New York, but based off of Patton Oswalt's suggestion. He like reads a lot of comic books, and that was something he recommended to the public. But basically the basic premise is that it's like, what if the Jason from Friday the 13th, but I mean, like, a non-branded universal version of him,
the legally distinct hockey mask killer.
Yeah, exactly. Legally non-denominational mask killer. So it's, if that type of character showed up in New York, which he does in the quote unquote last Friday the 13th movie, which it wasn't actually the last one, but
right, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah. So he shows up in New York, and honestly, that should have been like the best fucking one, like him just going ape shit in New York, and it really just kind of fizzles. He doesn't get to go ape shit in New York. And so this comic book is basically like, what if he showed up in New York, and he's just a killing machine. So basically, like, it's like New Year's Eve, like 20, like, let's just say 2020. I forget what year it's supposed to have happened, but like, basically there's a massacre where hundreds of people die because the maniac showed up and killed them all. And then like cut to like 5 years later, and they all just treat it like a natural disaster because he just still stalks the streets of New York. And so they put out like little warnings. It was like, hey, maniac was spotted somewhere in in uptown. So just make sure you steer clear of there and don't get on the subway. And it's so like I was just reminded of that a little bit based off of the casualness of it.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that, like, people have a lot more dread than they do with this fucking oozing meat flesh.
Oh my god!
I just realized something. So I was checking my phone and about to clear out Google when I saw, I was looking up gabapentin, and then it clicked. Gabapentin is used for seizures. Holy shit! This guy is going to be stuck in this fucking restaurant, and he might not have his drugs on him anymore. He could suffer from a fucking seizure.
Oh, well, let's hope that happens before the inescapable meat cloud devours him.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, which
shit.
is worse, dying of a seizure or meat monster death?
No kidding.
Yep. Thank you for that horrifying thought.
Speaking of, and again,
this whole story is a horrifying thought. All I did was add to it.
Thank you for contributing to the horrifying thoughts and plussing it. And thank you, Daniel, for submitting the story. You're awesome. If you want to be cool like Dan, you're going to want to email us at midnightmarinara@gmail.com. Send us your work. Send us your stories. We will read them and announce them and do silly things with them on the podcast. We have an all right backlog, but we're starting to run a little thin again. So now is a great time to actually send us stuff. to make sure it gets read within the next few months or so. We do this podcast once every 2 weeks. So we have space to kind of work things out and get things going. I think in order to continue to expand this gap, we might look into doing a couple of other extra things here and there. But yes, now is as good a time as any. And you could also consider joining our Patreon, patreon.com/midnightmarinara. And if at any dollar level you join us, you can get access to the Choice Drags, which are our little like warm-up sessions that we do before we get into these recordings. And we had a good one this time around. I think they're all pretty good, but this one in particular was really funny. So if you want to understand some of the bits that we were mentioning earlier about Trilby, you'll see what we mean. And yeah, patrons generally get their stories bumped up to the front of the queue, the hypothetical queue that I have formed. So yes, while you're at it, also check out the other cool shows on the Creative Horror Network, shows like the aforementioned Darkly Lit. You can check out Midnight Marinara, which about 2-3 weeks ago released an episode around Halloween. Well worth checking out if you enjoy the audio drama podcasts we do. You can also check out episodes of the Jameson tapes and backlogs of other podcasts such as Trick or Track and The Witching Hour. Highly, highly recommend. And yeah, is there anything you'd like to plug besides Maniac in New York, Benjamin?
Pretty sure I've already said my butt on this show, so I'll leave that for another time. But yeah, let me think. I'd like to plug my new podcast, Harbinger of Doom reads the daily news. It's a completely absurd audio drama where the freaking the fourth horseman of the apocalypse just like reads like the news very casually.
Nice.
I was like, oh, the stocks are up today. Guess I'll go kill them all.
This is a superb idea. This is a legit superb idea.
Also, check out Curious Wick in theaters this summer. In this summer, Curious George, like you've never seen him before, fully CG and killing human beings.
Played by Andy Serkis.
Together, apes strong.
Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinara, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.